Is that working, Tegan?
Yeah. Oh, and it looks good.
Cool. Alright. Should I like wait a bit? I don't know. Streaming. What's the etiquette on streaming?
What?
About like waiting. Should I like wait for a viewer to talk to?
Or watching.
Or watching. Okay. Cool.
Cool.
Great.
I'm gonna pause.
Yeah, go for it. For some reason I don't see the chat showing up on my end.
It should be on the left monitor.
Okay.
If you want, you can also look at it on like your phone or laptop or something.
That's true. Oh, hello viewer. We have a viewer. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Hope you can hear me okay. I think we're gonna wait like like 2 or 3 minutes or so. I don't know. But today we're gonna be playing some Jarl. And this is I think my first time doing a live stream, so I'm sure this is gonna be a fun time. All right. Let's see, where's the... Oh, I actually need to fix this list. I need to remove Crown of Providence. Because we're doing Mono Plume today. Which is a thing that has been requested of me. Actually, I think I'll probably add back in the Midas Touch. Like the one of Midas Touch on the board. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks vaguely correct. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to try the Mono Plume thing today, mainly because it was just a thing that I get asked about a lot. It's like, why not just run Plume over Crown of Providence? Which I think is like a reasonable ask. The card is very strong in the right circumstances. I just think it does have like consistency issues, but alright, I think we'll probably just go ahead and get started. Alright, so hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be doing it live. So this is kind of just a live Jarl video. I don't really kind of oh, Alex plays Mono Plume ever since I treated him with gold foil. Oh, nice. Ah, yes, the Plume is pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think like Crown, I like Crown in a lot of circumstances and against like Gravy and stuff like that. So I've been like avoiding Plume, but I can see the kind of like the logic behind it. But anyways, today we're gonna be testing Plume. Plume is probably the most asked about card I get on most of my Jarl videos. I think that it's pretty like theoretically very, very strong, right? Like what you basically do with Plume is you basically either get back Crumble to Eternity or Felling of the Crown, and this kind of like serves as like your 4th Felling of the Crown, or maybe like a Crumble to Eternity defeats Oakenhold. I think there are a lot of interesting applications. I think like a third kind of weaker application of Plume is like Seeds of Tomorrow. Like you can get back that in like wizard matchups or whatever. So it's like kind of interesting. I did have to like kind of reshape the deck a little bit just from like my normal kind of like Crown of Providence build. Like I think you need a couple more blues just to make like the Plume stuff work a little bit more consistently. So I added in I think just an extra like seeds in the board, and I think I also might have gone up on like a Channel Mount Ison or something. But yeah, we're gonna be testing Plume today. I think it's interesting, but I still am kind of a Crown of Providence believer, at least just in terms of like having the extra block value. And I don't know, like especially in the Gravy matchup, it feels like I like having Crown of Providence just as insurance against like the boat Command and Conquer. But yeah, we're gonna go and test it today, see how it performs. We might like most of our tech videos may not end up like actually playing this card, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot. All right, let me boot up Talishar. Let's go ahead and copy it over. All right. I'll just do public. Oh, I'm not even logged in. All right, whatever. We'll be incognito for the first game. All right, against Ira. Still generally prefer going first. I think you're generally supposed to like kind of fat deck Ira. White Titan's Fist over Dirt Hammer. The last time I checked, I was running more 3 block or more 3 cost than Earth cards, but it could very well be the case that I'm running more Earth cards in this particular build. I think I was borderline in the last list. This looks vaguely correct. I don't know if you need Oasis into Ira. Probably not. But in general, I just like look at by like pitch value. Uh, okay, yeah, let's try like this. Turn 1, Crumble is nice. Could theoretically also E-Strike into Crumble, but I think that's probably unnecessary. Well, we'll definitely discard the fruits. Yeah, if we E-Strike Crumble, then we don't get an Arsenal, so I think we're just gonna land the Crumble. They're running Iris of Blossom. Okay, this is actually the first time I played against Ira with like the new equipment suite. Alright, let me like read these cards. Whenever attacking neutral with Vengeance, the name hits, you may equip Edge Autumn for Banish Zone. I think it's probably still Tunic. So they're both Blade Break. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and take out the Tunic. I could be wrong, but I've also like not played against this particular configuration. This hand sucks. This hand is not great. Yeah. If anything, all right, bittering for 5. Do care about bittering? Like a little bit. I do also need like a third card in the bin just for felling if we want to resolve it. I feel like I'm almost supposed to take the bittering here. Could also be right to give up like gauntlets or like maybe in civics here. I think giving up the civics is actually like pretty reasonable. See what they do. Alright, they have empowerment, that's like fine. Yeah, I think the main idea for Plume is for fellings. This is like a kind of more of a testing session than anything. Like I've conceptually not enjoyed the idea of Plume just because I like having, I don't know, like on paper you get back like your strongest card in your deck and you add it to your hand basically. But the downside is you lose out on the block value. Oh, that's really nice that they're just passing here. All right, so now we get to do our first felling and then just pitch a felling in remembrance for later. Don't have Tunic up, so we can't unfortunately like E-Strike as well, but I think this is still pretty reasonable. Let's get the first Earth online. Putting the felling back does hurt a little bit, and banishing the Oakenol does hurt a little bit, but I think it's probably fine. But yeah, the idea for felling is basically we just want like the opportunity to either get back felling or Oaken crumble. Like especially on turn where you just this hand's kind of like okay, prismatic. Okay, yeah, this is a good first deck to play in the stream. For 7? Oh, I guess I get the Quicken token. Sure. Okay, we have the first stream starting off on a good start with the prismatic lane line. I think the play. So one in play is we just like let our E-Strike go. The other play is we just give up Stalag plus Gauntlets plus Everbloom, and that probably covers it pretty efficiently. And then we can just CNC pummel them next turn. It's probably fine. Giving up this much armor does hurt a bit. I don't think they have a way to like pump it, right? Target ninja attack. Like I don't think they have a way to pump CNC in particular. But this should hopefully stuff the prismatic ley line. Sure. Interesting. Oh, CNC pummel is pretty good. Not gonna complain that their prismatic ley line only got 1 value there, but I feel like it pretty often only gets 1 value in a lot of decks. I don't know. I mean, like I feel like on average this is like a 0 for 3, right? Like you get the blue mode off on it, but I don't know. Beyond that, I don't think it's particularly impressive. All right, we're probably just going to ruin their day here. Yeah, seems pretty good. So we do have the felling plume next turn. We don't have the. I guess we do have the fodder if we do plume, right? That's actually kind of good. So we banished our Crumble, unfortunately. So this hand gets a little bit more awkward. So this hand's kind of interesting. We can... So we can E-Strike, buy back Felling... No, so we can E-Strike the Oakenold, buy back Felling, bottom to Rootbound. That's play number one. Play number two is we just E-Strike into Oakenold, Arsenal to Rootbound. Obviously, we wouldn't get the value out of the Oakenold, but it is just damage. Which is better? I'm kind of leaning towards E-Strike into Oaken just to deal 12, but if we do the E-Strike into Felling, then theoretically we can... We don't get to keep an Arsenal is like the biggest downside, but I guess we also get to take a card out of hand. It's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to go for the E-Strike play just to preserve the Arsenal of Rootbound. I might be wrong, though. I think taking the damage when we can get it is fine. Like, we don't just need to, like, spam Fellings this early on in the game. But we're at, like, a 20-point life differential, so... Feels pretty good. I guess we've used, like, 6 armor as well, so... Maybe that difference is not actually as high as it seems. Yeah, pretty good start though. So worst case scenario on this next turn is like CNC. Oh, a nice thing about Edge of Autumn over Kodachi's is that you just get to use like Tuna Counter for it if you want. You don't have to like pitch a blue, which is also nice. It makes like the blue base, I guess, a little bit more interesting. All right, Seek Vengeance. If Edge of Autumn was the last attack this combat chain, this gets go again. Sure. I think we're just blocking with Terra Sunder. I'm reading a lot of these cards for almost the first time. I looked at the spoilers, but I didn't really like reflect on them very much. Legacy of Ikaru. Target ninja attack gets +1 whenever it hits. If Edge of Autumn was the last attack this combat chain, draw a card. Sure. So this is on hit, draw a card. I mean, we're not really doing anything with like the rest of our hand, so we might as well just like try to prevent the card draw. I don't think I'm gonna decompose though. Just want to get more fodder in the yard, probably. Alright. No decomp. We're not threatening Pummel here, but this is still just good for tempo, I think. They do get access to actually quite a bit of armor here. I feel like they probably would rather... Like, I don't think they want to, like, use these to block necessarily, like, because of the Blade Break. Although I think with this one, you don't have to, like, sack it to use it. You just, like, continuously use it. Okay, we got Pummel. Interesting. Pitching a CNC. Alright, so it's one CNC we don't have to worry about for a while. I guess the question is, they do have, like, other copies of CNCs with, like, the Enact Vengeance, which are pretty good. This hand also does just Terra Sunder if we want to do that. We can't Frozen. Could theoretically pummel an Oakenold, actually, right? If we buy back Oakenold, no, we don't have enough blues to do that, right? So I think this is just fine. We could give Stalagmite there to like prevent the Frostbite, but I'm predicting that the turn is a little bit weak anyways. So no real incentive, I think, to just use armor for no reason. And if they just pass here, like, I think that's also fine. So does Plume do anything for us here? Not really. I mean, we can like Everbloom something. We can like Everbloom into pitch this to get a felling, and then like bottom the pummel. Is that very exciting though? Like, I almost feel like I'd rather Tear Asunder or something. Hmm. Obviously, you can't like pummel the Tear Asunder, which is awkward. Maybe this is like the opportunity to felling. We can't, unfortunately, like do much better than this hand. I guess let's go for it. So we'll start with Everbloom Life and just keep up the tempo. Put back on their Everbloom Life. Do we have enough Earth? If we do that, should probably have enough Earth. Could also put back E-Strike. I think both are fine. And then let's Plume. Get back Felling. Also like how it showed 4 copies of Everbloom there. It's a bit weird. And then we'll go for the decomp. I think this is fine. It does just feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's something else we could have done on that hand. Like, maybe this is about as good as like, it's slightly better than just like Tear Asunder, but like not by a ton, it feels like. Do get a double D-React here, which is quite nice. It almost makes me think. So they did just like pass last turn. So maybe their hand was like CNC plus one of these fates, and then they could also have like a react in Arsenal. I feel like the opponent's hand next turn is not going to be anything really special to write home about either. Okay, they do have a CNC, so that's not bad. Sea Legs. Oh yeah, Sea Legs. This is the combo with Iris, so they get like a quicken, like an on-demand quicken token functionally. This hand obviously not ideal. We do get to tutor for Mangle actually, so maybe this is fine. We block 6 like this. Giving him a quicken is rough, but we do get to just mangle them with Dominate and then still hold on to our arsenal. Banish Edge on target. Yeah, so they can't like buff this or anyway. Yep, so I think this works out. Go ahead and grab our Mangle. Unforgiving, Unforgetting Unforgiving kind of saved us on this hand. So we are notably like completely out of armor. Oh, we can't dominate the Mangle, right? Because I have to use my gauntlets there. Yeah, I did have to use my gauntlets there. That's still fine though. You just send it for 8 and pressure a card. I don't think there's any way that we could have kept there unless we just like let the arsenal go. I think this is still fine. Like getting the +2 and dominate is probably not as good as just getting react. Like if they want to just like double react this, I think I'm fine with that. Like we don't need to blow up Tunic imperatively in this matchup, I feel like. The double D react obviously a little bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world. All right, definitely gonna try to see if I can get this sync at Arsenal so we can plow. Right, so they just use the Edge of Autumn. That's good for us. And there's Seek Vengeance, which is also fine. So I think we're just going to use the sync to cover this and maybe just try to tuck. Actually, we should probably. Maybe we sync below, sync the Imposing Visage to either find something better, and then if we find a blue, then we arsenal CLF. If we don't find a blue, then we arsenal whatever the non-blue is, probably. So I think we are going to fish off sync just for something a little bit better than Imposing. They notably don't have an arsenal, so maybe we don't actually even need to use it here. Like we could also just plow for value, or alternatively we can like tutor for CLF. None of those are super exciting. What are we sinking here then? I guess we can still just like plow for 6, and it's not like terrible. Or CLF is actually better here. I think we're just gonna play CLF Arsenal to plow and then Sigil. Maybe that's the best play. They don't get a Frostbite here, but I think that's still pretty high value. Alternate option is we can just use our tunic to get 6 value here. No, I think we're still supposed to sigil. I feel like playing out a CLF heavily incentivizes them to try to keep an arsenal if they can. Just because they're not going to be able to do a ton on their turn. Alright, so we got the Whirling Mist Blossom. So this is on hit, draw 2 cards. They do have the Okana Scar Reps to also pump this. I feel like we're still just supposed to give 6 to this. Because if they raise a reflex, that costs 2. Then they don't have the mana to also Okana. So I think we're just double blocking this. Which is fine. They could follow up with like something else, but they can't CNC or enact Vengeance here. The CNC. So I think it's a fine trade. Then we get to plow Arsenal Sigil. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if y'all see the misplay jar, you're welcome to attempt to persuade me to fill the jar some more. I think this is from the all-time number of Jarl misplays I made on camera. So if anyone wants to contribute to that jar, let me know. I might actually just add. Hold on, let me mess with the jar real quick. So we'll do center alignment. Okay, looks like our opponent's playing something. Plow under. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Oh, this hand's nice. We can get another Mangle, like eventually Everbloom Life as well, and then send it off Tunic. Yeah, it seems quite strong. Let me see if I can actually mess with this here real quick. Okay. Select the font. Make it a little bit smaller. There we go. That's about as good as it's gonna get, right? There we go. That's perfect. I think it's slightly off-centered. That'll make some people upset. All right. Coming in with Edge of Autumn, that's fine. Yeah, maybe they're just like holding on to the Iris in this matchup because it's like pretty poor. Ooh, Sirens of Safe Harbor is an interesting one. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just give the Unforgetting Unforgiving, and I guess we'll just single sigil and send Mangle and then Everbloom Life, and we'll still just keep the other sigil in Arsenal. No real reason to use it here. But these Unforgetting Unforgivings this game have been quite nice. All right, pass. Go ahead and sigil first. Probably just buying back a Felling, right? Everbloom Life. You need to be careful with Everbloom Life because if the sigil hasn't resolved, then you can sometimes just like gain the life because it will try to play at an instant speed. At least on Talishar. Alright, coming in with the Mangle. Still have that other sigil in Arsenal, which is pretty good if they decide to go for like another Enact Vengeance. I think they've used all of their CNCs, at least the ones that like they didn't pitch. So they still have like one that they pitched pretty early on. So maybe that will be coming back around in a few turns. But still in a pretty good spot this game. They have to give us 2 cards here. Very D-React heavy Ira. I mean, I guess all Iras are pretty D-React heavy. I feel like every time we've like done something, they've just like double D-Reacted, which is pretty funny. Yeah, but here we're just gonna go and pass, I think. We got the Rootbound. We can finally blow up their Tunic next turn if we want. It's probably a pretty decent play. We'd be like IP1ing ourselves depending on how this works out. I guess we like could use the sigil like Arsenal Eisen, but like Eisen's a pretty terrible arsenal. Actually, it's probably not a bad arsenal because we haven't seen any of our seeds yet, right? I think we are running 2 seeds in this particular deck. All right, so they're gonna get their Iris, which is scary. So what does this mean? I'm gonna use the Gold Kiss on it. Wait, does this already have Go again? Oh, they enact Vengeance, pull Tunic, then do it. Okay, I see. Sure. Only problem with that is like Stalagmite just completely wrecks that. I guess the question is like, do we even need a Stalagmite here? Because like we can just no Stalagmite like blocks 4, right? Functionally, we should probably just use it and then Rootbound plus Sigil, Arsenal Eisen. Yeah, we probably should just like punish them for doing this. Hello, hello, how's it going? We're doing pretty good. Just trying out Plume of Evergrowth is a card for today, which is now in Vanish. It was okay. The one turn we casted this game. You haven't really missed much. We've just been sitting at like a 40 against this Ira for a very long time. But Ira is, I don't know, very rough. Wait. Oh, I guess we have used all 3 Everblooms. That's kind of interesting. Go ahead and banish Mangle, I guess. It's probably fine. Yeah, but making the Frostbite here really punished the Whirling Mist Blossom. Yeah, I mean, like sometimes you just have to like force the action on Stalagmite, so maybe that's what they were trying to do. But like it felt pretty good for us to like block 4. Let's blow up the Tunic, get the first Frostbite online. This is like our first bad hand of the game, honestly. Like we've actually been drawing pretty hot up until this point, it feels like. I mean, Plume did actually fix that one turn that I think was like a little bit weaker where we could have just like Terra Sundered. So maybe Plume is actually the sauce. Okay, so just Edge Autumn. Don't see any real reason to block this. We are fully out of armor now. Seek Vengeance is also fine. Oh, they can do this multiple times. Oh, that's kind of interesting. How many whirlings have they used at this point? They've used like 2. Oh, they used 1. Or no, 2. Okay. So they have 1 more Iris if they want to use it. But still don't see any real reason to block here. We'll probably just try to use the Sync to filter on whatever they do last. They do have 1 more Enact Vengeance, which I don't remember them pitching. Alright, so that's a pretty good excuse to just use our Sync. If we draw a Crumble, then obviously that's amazing. If we don't draw a Crumble, that's fine. I think we're still just sinking the Pummel. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I kind of don't like how like expensive Crown is. That being said, I do think that I don't know. I don't know if like Plume is necessarily like the best thing in the world. I don't know. I'm still kind of a believer in Crown. So let's channel, and then I guess we're just gonna swing in with the Titan's Fist, Arsenal the Oakenold. Could have theoretically also just sent Autumn's Touch, but then this like guarantees that we're keeping at least 1 Earth card in hand. So I guess we actually like kind of got rewarded for doing that, right? Oh no, not the second Prismatic Ley line. Okay, actually they might be like, I don't know if they're cooking something here. They're probably not, but like I guess it does kind of make sense with like Whirling Mist Blossom if you can do the dream of like blue, like what's the card called? Blue Enact Vengeance or Seek Vengeance. Like blue Seek Vengeance into Whirling Mist Blossom into Enact Vengeance is maybe. Oh, that doesn't even work, right? Because like you need like the Edge of Autumn trick. Okay, so I don't actually know if that does work. But maybe if you make like Sea Leg token or like the rum token or whatever, maybe that works. I think we're just gonna maybe go for the Blizzard here. There's no guarantee that they're gonna play another card with Go again. And if we can like hose their resources, then their Prismatic Ley line obviously gets even worse than it is. But yeah, that's pretty rough. Pitching a whirling. Alright, so that's the last whirling we have to worry about. Oh, they can't even sirens. That's rough. I guess they're just gonna go for the bittering instead. Okay, so because we did Blizzard, now we can't Oakenold, but that's still not the end of the world. I think we'll just go ahead and block 6 on this. Could also do Winter's Bite into E-Strike for 7. Actually, that might be better, right? We get 7 value out of instead of 6 value, and then we just get to strip a card out of their hand. Because this isn't buffing anything else they're doing this turn, right? So there's no real reason to block the Owl Head here. Now we can just Winter's Bite, strip a card out of hand, strain the resources, and then follow up with an E-Strike. Oh, E-Strike disappeared. They are running pretty low on cards. All right, there's Ancestral. How many? All right, we've seen 2 Ancestrals, so we don't have to worry about Ancestral for a while. I'm not seeing a Razor Reflex, but they also just might not be running that card. I just know that that's kind of like that was at least like the old school Ira combo, right? You like Razor Reflex, so Whirling Mist Blossom. Okay, so Felling is back. We did shuffle a couple times, so this isn't like our pitch deck or anything, right? And this hand has a lot of options. Like if they try to go for like disruption, then we just seeds the Oakenold. And if they don't try to go for disruption, then we probably just like plow under or felling, whichever one's better. But we'll take a little bit of damage off the edge here. All right, so they are going to go for disruption. So I suppose we will just go ahead and seeds that. I think that's fine. I guess we'll also. So we technically took 1 damage, but I don't think that's necessarily a misplay, just because like we didn't know what exactly they were going to be doing with the turn. So there's the 3rd ley line. This is fine though. We just get to felling. I'm not going to just send like plow under for 6. I think that's kind of weak. I'd rather just send the 3rd felling. There's also an option where we like double block and give up Tunic, but then we're like still just stuck with 3 cards in hand with the felling. So I guess that doesn't really make much sense. It's pretty good though, so let's get Plow, Rootbound, and Frozen. I think they're all fine. I feel like Frozen might be my most banished card, just because like there's no world where you ever want to put it back in the deck. All right, we just get to Time Walk them there. It's pretty good. We could theoretically Terra Sunder, which more likely than not just eats 2 cards out of their hand. Is that better than doing CLF? We also get an equipment, I guess. Or alternatively, we can just CLF plus Hammer for 4 or Hammer for 3. I don't know. I guess maybe. I don't know. So Prismatic Leyline has been a card that people have been trying to put into decks for like what, the past like year or so. This was like Mistveil, right? Yeah, it was Mistveil. People have been trying to put Prismatic Leyline into like every single deck they can find, and I've not seen that card be impressive in like any of them. I don't know. I feel like this card is like a trap. Like like 0 for 6, obviously good. 0 for 5, even like obviously really good. But like if you're doing worse than that, then it feels quite bad. Like if you're doing like 0 for yellow, 0 for 3, like that's pretty whatever. I don't know. It's not been a card that's like particularly impressed me, but like I think that there maybe is a world where they like print enough like cards, or like there's a certain deck that cares about like having like a rainbow cards that makes that card good. Like I think that this was experimented with in Gravy, right? Like the idea in Gravy was you like Prismatic Leyline on, and then you play like your Murderous Rabble plus an ally. Ooh, Next Vengeance might be actually pretty decent here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Could just strip cards out of hand. We're almost running out of deck here a little bit. I kind of think we're maybe just supposed to like give up Tunic at this point. We do still have a Pummel floating around the deck, right? We have 1 Pummel. But anyways, I've still like not been impressed by Prismatic. Like I think it's like maybe there's a deck for it. I don't know if Ira is that deck. Oh, also we should not block with the Imposing. We should block with the E-Strike. think we should do something like this, right? And then we just tear asunder, force 2 cards out of hand. And then they also can't use like reacts, which I don't think they have many reacts left at this point. Oh yeah, they can't. I notably did not play around Okana, but fortunately for us, CLF actually saved us there. But I've also like not played against this card like ever. Okay, coming for 5, which is at least good. I think we got a little bit lucky there. Like if we didn't have the CLF out, then that obviously like completely wrecks us. But then I guess they don't even have like a weapon for the rest of the game, unless they have like a way to re-equip that I've not seen. They have like there's some card they printed in the Ira deck, right? That like gives that like brings back an Edge of Autumn. At least I thought there was. Okay, maybe not. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and Katsu I was also not super like even if you're running like 9 bonds, which like maybe that's the world where you want to run like prismatic leyline, but I don't know. Card is like never really done it for me. Seed's notably not a great draw right this second, but that's fine. Alright, so discarding Sea Legs. Oh, I think Talshar bugged out. Give him a refresh. Alright, so they're getting their last swirling. So we did see them pitch Empowerment like semi recently. They haven't shuffled, right? So what card do they have that gets us here? I feel like there's got to be something, right? Yeah, Seeds was a little bit of an unfortunate draw there. I guess we could have like probably done something to make our Seeds a bit better. So how scared do I have to be of this Whirling Mist Blossom? Oh, they do have Nip It at the heels. That's one card that we've not kept track of. So we probably do have to just block 4 on this, and then just, or maybe we just like block 5 with the fruits, just be a little bit safe, and then plow. I think that makes sense. I don't know if they have anything there. How many nips have they used? I don't think they've used any, so it could just be that. Fortunately, we get to plow here. Still a little bit concerned about deck size, but we do have that Remembrance still. We do know that Seeds is at the bottom, which is also nice. So now we can kind of like plan around Seeds. All right, so they are running Concealed Blades. There might not be a card in the Armory deck itself that's actually like re-equipping like Edge of Autumn. I thought there was, but maybe I'm just like imagining things. All right, we'll take our 1 here. All right, coming in with the Censor. We should probably just respect this. They've not seen like any fellings, or they've seen like 1 felling and then we put 1 back. So like the chances of them naming felling are like above average. Could also just take 6, and then if they do name felling, then we just go for Mangle instead, and then Arsenal the felling for next turn. They've used 3 CNCs, 3 Neck Vengeance, so our Arsenal is safe. Maybe we're actually just supposed to get hit by this. I can see that being correct. Because we have 2 threats that we can play, right? I think this makes sense. Like, I think if you want to be, like, not greedy here, you just, like, take the 6, like, you block 6 on it. But I'm, like, also, like, a little bit worried about deck size, so I think taking, like, a bit of damage here is fine. So if they name Felling, that's fine. If they name Mangle, that's fine. Like, we're basically covered no matter what they name. So it doesn't, it's not, like, a real on-hit. It kind of feels like. The opponent's in the tank on what's a name here. All right, so that's exactly what we expected. Probably name Felling, then we just get the same Mangle. And then if they choose not to block this, then we get the added value of getting rid of their Breeze Rider boots. They're also out of Whirlings in terms of like threat density, so we're in a really good spot here. Getting a little bit of life off the Sirens, which is nice. Oh, now we are gonna like absolutely wreck them though, I think. So I don't think there's anything they can have here. What disruption do they actually have left in the deck? Alright, Sirens is not disruption. Could theoretically just pulse this. But I'd almost rather just use pulse, like discard the I think Ira Jarl is not actually all that, or sorry, Ira Jarl for Ira I think is quite bad, but yeah, for Jarl it's quite nice actually. So I think we're just keeping the hand here. I don't see any real reason to use pulse. I think I want to leave it in the deck for Okins, which how many Okins have we used? We have one Okin still floating around somewhere, I think. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and just save the pulse for the Okin in case we need it. We're getting a little bit greedy here, but I think it's fine in our position to just kind of rip the tempo from them. They are almost out of cards too, which is quite nice. And like our deck is going to be significantly better now that we're like putting a bunch of Fellings back. All right, actually we're probably not putting multiple Fellings back, right? We're putting back like Felling Oaken, Plow maybe or something like that. Which is still fine, I think. Yeah, we're still gonna like just discard the fruits here. It's a little bit awkward that we can't like Felling first, then Remembrance it back, but I think this is still fine. Let's go ahead and get our Oaken or Felling, and last threat could be maybe an Eisen's fine. Blue 3-block that could just ping him for 1, I think is reasonable. Maybe it's better to just get Plow. We still have enough Earth, right, to do Fellings in that case. Maybe the Plow is actually greedy. Let's actually just do the Eisen so we leave enough Earth in the graveyard. So I think that works out. So I want to make sure I can actually like, cast the last 2 Fellings we have. Alright, Steep Comp. So we'll do fruits, seeds, and then I want to leave the Eisen in case we need to like Everbloom it back, which is unlikely since we already put the second one back. But I think this is still fine. They're on 2 cards. Probably just have to block here. Like I don't see this getting much better for them. Very nice. So I think we actually might not play the Winner's Bite here just so we can bottom it and then keep the root bound. Like we're basically going to be time walking them every turn anyways. I don't think we need to like extra time walk them necessarily. And I'd rather keep like the react in case they do go for something. Like I think the root bound Carapace here is just insurance in case they have something random that we didn't encounter. Like maybe they like faded something to the bottom that we care about. It's unlikely, but give him a Terra Sunder, Winter Spite. Yeah, the Plume, okay, for what it's worth, the Plume did feel pretty alright this game. Like, it did fix that one awkward hand where we would have just, like, Terra Sundered. I do feel like, Crown of Providence would have also been pretty good this game, just because, like, they have the Enact Vengeances and also the CNCs. But here, I think they're probably not going to be able to block this. So you also get to time, like, we basically get to time walk them, what, like 3 turns in a row. Pretty good. But yeah, Prismatic Leyline is, like, interesting. I feel like there's still just not a deck that, like, really, really wants to use it. Like, you can use it, and, like, I think it's even, like, fine in, like, some decks. It's just, like, it's not like a power card, right? I think that's like the biggest thing is like at most you're getting 6 value, which I don't think I've ever seen this card realistically get 6 value. But if you're getting 5 value, that's also fine. Like it's a 0 for 5, which is on rate or above rate, even like 0 for 5 go again. But yeah, that was a pretty good one to I guess start off with. Give him a good game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's necessarily just a deck that has like that this has like a home in yet. Like I think maybe like the best home for this deck, if certain cards are unbanned, might have been like just like Katsu with like Rainbow Bonds or something, and maybe that's somewhat reasonable. Like I think actually when we were looking at like the Zen documentary and stuff, one of the early like we make best lists that kind of like did the like the 9 bonds thing was running like prismatic line. That's like I think the best that I've ever seen this card be, but like beyond that I don't know. All right, let's see if we can get another one here. Oh, hold on, how do I like, hide my screen? I'm gonna like log in. Where is it? Window capture. All right, you all are blind. Cool. My password, which is also like starred out, is protected. All right, let's give it another shot and see what there is to see. Uh-oh. A Reinar? We can play a Reinar. Okay, the camera is back. Okay, actually, let me make sure it's... No, that looks fine. Alright. Against Reinar, Oasis is probably necessary. I feel like I've been seeing a lot more uptick on Fatigue Reinars. In general, I think you run something like this. I think we could run Remembrance, but it might not be fully necessary. We try Remembrance. It might not be bad. Let's bring the Remembrance. Alright, so we're not on Fatigue Reiner, so the Remembrance is unfortunately a little bit worse. That's fine. They're gonna go for barraging. I think we're not supposed to fruits here. Like we're not supposed to get greedy. We're just gonna let them banish, and then we're probably gonna just try to block 6 with whatever we have left. Yeah, you can do whatever. Yep, we're live gaming, or at least trying it out. This is kind of like, so Tegan and I have been working like pretty hard on the Zen documentary. Oh, it seems like they maybe want to like discard. Maybe they have something they're gonna like discard here. So I think we're gonna go ahead and block 6 here. If they follow up with like if they have like instant speed discard, then like they can't play anything else. So this is fine, right? But yeah, so yeah, they have another agile. That's fine. We just discard the fruits. Bane Tim. But anyways, so Tegan and I have been working pretty hard on like the Zen documentary recording. So one of the ways that we kind of brainstormed to cut down on the work that like Tegan has to do with like editing and stuff, which I also have had to like take part in like the editing process as well, is to like try out some streams, just in like the kind of like interim while we're working on the Zen documentary. Zen documentary is going along like very, very well, by the way. Tegan's been doing pretty well on it. Lots of cool stuff. Oh, we can start off with a seal up here. Seems pretty good. But anyways, so streams are kind of like the compromise to kind of cut down on a bit of editing work, just for both of us, just because like it's a lot of work to like edit the videos down to like kind of like the quality that we want to do them at. Especially like we basically take out a bunch of downtime. We take out a bunch of like me just like yapping about stuff that's like kind of boring. Closing Visage Banis, or probably just seeing them next turn. So yeah, this is fine. But anyways, one of the ways that we're kind of like cutting down on work for ourselves is to do like a little bit of more live content. We're probably also going to still do like video stuff. But in general, like we're going to try out some live content, see if people like it. And then maybe after a while, when we get a little bit more time freed up, we'll go back to like the other stuff. So we can actually like imposing into crumble into CNC here. So I think we're still supposed to like hold back on the claw. If they have disruption, then we can like block further. All right, smashback's fine. Yeah, but the Zen documentary is like going quite well, I think. Like we're both pretty proud of the progress we've made up into this point. Will be coming out sometime soon. We're not going to say exactly what date yet. So what do we want to give them? Probably just scabs, right? Yeah, it's always scabs. And then follow up with CNC. But yeah, we're working pretty hard on the Zen doc. It will be out sooner rather than later, is all I'll say. But it's going to be very, very cool. Got a lot of cool people as part of it, which we're very, very excited about. All right, no Pummel. I don't even think we're representing Pummel. Okay, CNC for 8. That's a pretty big boy. I guess we can actually just like Oasis this. Oasis into Pull Tunic, send Mangle, Arsenal Sync. I guess we'd rather Arsenal Rootbound. So maybe we pitch the Sync to Oasis, then Arsenal that. I guess the question is like, do we want to Stalagmite here? I generally like to try to save Stalagmite for the Blood Rush turn. Could also give him a Quicken token. This might not be that bad of an opportunity to do so, but like again, I think you generally want to try to save Civic Steps for. Well, actually, I don't even know if that's true. Do you want to save Civic Steps for the Blood Rush turn? I think it's pretty low opportunity cost to try to give them the Civic Steps here. Because if they just pass on 2 cards, I think I'm fine with that. If they don't pass on 2 cards, then we're also fine because they'll just use up the Quicken. Alright, go ahead and pitch the Sync below, which is a little bit unfortunate that we didn't have Tunic counter up at the right time, but we're still getting pretty good value here. Yeah, we have the Oasis, so I think that works out pretty well. Wild Ride, follow up. So we could have stopped them with the Stalagmite, but they end up using the Quicken anyway, so I think that's fine. So we could just Rootbound this if we want to. Also semi-reasonable. Oh, we're also going to get Dominate on this, which is quite nice. So the question is, like, do we want to save the Rootbound for something in particular, or do we want to just get our 4 block value here? I think I just want to get my 4 block value here, because, like, we could get into a scenario where we draw a bunch of D-Reacts, and then we're running to Arsenal one of those instead. So I think we'll just take the nice block while we have it. Yeah, the Oasis was not as good as it could have been there. Like, we didn't have Tunic counter up, but, like, still pretty good that we just, like, get Sync Blow out of hand, and we can use it there. Alright, we'll go ahead and now we get to use our Tunic for Mangle, which is at least nice, and this Mangle also is Dominate, which is pretty solid, so we're demanding at least like 1 card from hand, plus maybe another piece of equipment. So we're eating through the armor pretty well. They should ban Oasis. Shut up, Tegan. No one asked for your opinion, Tegan. Okay, so that was actually one reason why we might have that was actually one reason why we might have wanted to Arsenal the Rootbound Carapace, but fortunately for us, we have the God RNG on our side, so we just got them to discard a Blood Rush, which is more likely than you think in Reinar, as someone who's played a bunch of Reinar for no reason. I agree that they should ban Sync and Fate. I think they're kind of boring, but yeah, anyways. So Pulping coming in, if we double block it, they can't do anything else. But we don't really want to double block it. I think we're just supposed to Rootbound this, and then if they want to like Swing Claw, I think that's fine. I think we're not even decomposing this because we need the decomp for felling. So we'll not decompose here. Just get our little bit of block value. If they want to like pitch a card to like swing Mandible Claw, I think I'm fine with that. Alright, go ahead and Sigil here, get our life total back up a little bit, and then we get a nice big felling. So Rootbound, and then we're leaving the Crumble in case we have like Everbloom life. And then let's get rid of CLF is probably fine. Alpha Rampage out of the way is nice. Alright, swing big. So we can actually block 9 here and then like Winter Spite the next turn, and then we have a Quicken for a future turn. That's the play that I immediately see. We do also have the ability to just Plume if we want. Is Plume worth it here? We could just Plume. Like, Winter's Bite plus Plume is pretty good. I don't think I want to go for the Terra Sunder. So maybe we're just blocking with Imposing and trying to use our Plume. I think this makes sense. Do we have the Decompose? Oh, we don't have the Decompose. Oh, no, we do have the Decompose because it's Plume, right? So we get back Felling, Plume goes to Graveyard. We have two Earth cards, and then we get CNC. Yeah, that's good, right? Yep, let's go and do it. We don't need the Quicken token. I think it's higher upside to just like unbrick this blue hand, maybe. So let's start with Plume. Get back Felling. I guess we probably should have Winter's Bited for. All right, I'm gonna make a little misplay note here. Technically, we should have Winter's Bited first, so they don't know what we're doing as follow up. So I'm gonna self-correct and add it to the Jarl misplay jar, but that is a minor misplay. We should just like hide as much information as possible before they have to do an action, right? There's no reason to tell them that we're gonna be doing a Felling of the Crown. Swing Big Pitch is nice. But yeah, this is pretty good for us. So banish the Plume, and then a Crumble, and then we'll also get a Visage. Yeah, the Plume's been pretty good. I still don't know if it's better than CNC, but like, it's been doing work. Alright, what does this hand want us to do? Alright, discarding a Bear Fangs, or discarding that. We get rid of our Pummel. We're just root banding this again. I don't really want to. We're just blocking with Eisen, and then E-Strike, buff, bottoming Pummel, Arsenal Rootbound. Seen 2 CNCs, so the Pummel's gotten a bit worse. Yeah, I think this is fine. It also works around pulping, right? If we keep an Arsenal, we can like potentially block the next pulping. So yeah, I think this is good. Still have quite a bit of armor up. They discarded a Blood Rush, which is also pretty big for us. Alright, take him down to 24. Tear limb from limb. That's terrifying. Well, wait, what do they even play here? They can like Savage Sash or something, right? That didn't even do anything, right? Because that only works on that. Okay, so I guess we're just root banding this for extra fodder in the yard. I feel like you need to keep way more cards for Terra Sunder. Or, sorry, not Terra Sunder, Terra Limb from Limb to be good. But this actually works out very, very well for us. So, no decomp. We got our second Earth card in the yard. Then we get to CLF, Pull Tunic, Plow. We're probably not plowing. We're probably not even doing the Decompose on Plow. We're probably just doing it for 6. And then we get to Arsenal another Plow. Yeah, this works out pretty well for us, I think. No decomp. Seems pretty good. We've done a pretty good job of keeping them off tempo here. Opponent is limit testing. What are they limit testing Terra Limb from Limb? Is that the joke? Alright, so the question here is do we want to pitch the Unforgetting Unforgiving so that they don't have the chance to banish it here? Probably. Because if this gets hit by the Terra Limb from Limb, that's pretty bad. So I think we're supposed to do that. Unfortunately, we're not going to get the life gain out of it, but that's fine. Just do that on Bear Fangs. They don't have Go again, so it's just fine. Then we'll follow up next turn with the Plow. This time we will Decompose since they have an Arsenal. We could also Everbloom Life plus Sigil, but that's pretty low value. I don't know. I think this is fine. I think in the next couple turns, I want to start cashing in like the gauntlets and the stalagmite value if I can. Just because I don't want to get too low before they start threatening our life total. But we're still at 20 functionally, so maybe we don't have to be that worried. Yeah, I don't see our opponent being thriving and happy right now about the chairlift from them there. All right, going decomp, group bound, and then Eisen I guess is fine. Probably more likely to put back a Winter's Bite in the deck at this point than an Eisen. For some reason I thought Sigil Cycles didn't block. But blocking 2 is functionally the same as not blocking. I guess it's not an item, right? It's an aura, so it makes more sense that it blocks. But yeah, that card is quite strong in Reinar. Oh boy, we were about to ruin their life here. It's so sad. Can I get an F in chat for this Reinar? Alright. Oh. Pretty good little sigil there. Alright, we get to Oakenold. Oh, shit, whoops. Whoops. Mispitched the wrong card. B. Pitch the Seeds of Tomorrow. Fuse the Crumble. Thank you for the F. Yep. Pretty solid set of turns here. Alright, go in Arsenal Sync here. Ooh, nasty next turn. Blood Rush pitching Blood Rush. Oh boy, it is not going very well for this here Reinar. What did they discard? They discarded Savage Feast. Yeah, this is all fine. Yeah, like this game, like I think in the beginning this game was like very close. Then they like discarded a Blood Rush, and then they like pitched a Blood Rush to Blood Rush on like 3 cards, and then it did not feel particularly close. They should Savage Sash this probably. Interesting. Because they probably want the mana to do Mandible Claws. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. Like they're kind of toast, but theoretically, correct play is to do that. I mean, I do still just have Stalagmite, so it doesn't even matter, right? Like they can't claw here anyways. Unfortunately, here we're gonna have to get rid of our Blizzard. We do have Decomposed, fortunately. I was not keeping track of that. Oh, Felling of the Crown, what a stupid card. This is like the most pushed Earth card of all time. I think I'd rather take a CNC because we're more likely to Everboom Life back in E-Strike. I made a mistake in one of the Rainbow Pitch League games where I like banished an E-Strike early on without paying attention, and then like that, I think that might have cost me the game. Just because like having the extra E-Strike threat in deck is like 3-block. I basically like ran out of deck towards the end. All right. Yeah. I don't know if there's much to say about the game. That just seems rough. I don't know if Tearlim from Loom is actually a good card in Reinar. Just because like look at their deck, right? They have like non-6, 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 non-6. Like it's very like risky. For Rainbow Pitch, yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty fun for me. It's my first time doing it. Oh, Codex is also another one of those push cards. Codex, I think, is the most pushed assassin card of all time, but Felling is the most pushed Earth card. I don't know. I guess there's always a push card in every class. But yeah, the rain pushing has been quite fun. I think I'm 2-1 or no 1-1. I think we've only done 2 rounds, right? I get kind of my wires crossed with some of the other like I think I'm also in the league that means nothing. So yeah, I forget exactly what my current standings are, but I've been having a lot of fun. I've been playing Jarl as well during that, and that's been pretty fun. All right, let's see if we can get a couple more. Oh. Yeah, don't judge me for drinking out of a measuring cup. Uh, it's the biggest cup we have. Ooh, Victor. Do we want to play against a Victor? This matchup is like cursed.
You should show how cursed it is.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll show how cursed this matchup is, but I hate this matchup. This matchup is like actually terrible. So we definitely want to just like fat deck here. All right, I'll give them a good look up front so they don't leave. I do not like this matchup. Yeah.
I did a number of things on the dock. I'm taking a break right now.
Yeah, I figured you've been doing a good job.
We need some re-records on some stuff.
Okay, yeah, I can take care of those. I think we run it like this. But yeah, this matchup's brutal. All right, they're running Rampart, which is interesting. Huh? Why Rampart? Pitching a test of strength most likely means that they have another one in hand, which sucks. So I guess we'll go ahead and just take our little bit of value here. Then we're just going to get some decomposed fodder in the yard. Cups are cups. Amen to that. Most of the cups in our house are just like mason jars that we got from like the grocery store. All right, I think we're pitching this felling for second cycle. We're close to decomposing, but like not that close. I think I'd rather just like Arsenal Rootbound. Also, like, okay, I'm not gonna uptick the misplay jar for that, but technically we should have, or no, I guess there's no way to like overpitch this that doesn't like reveal that we're. Oh my god, look at this. This matchup is like abysmally cursed. There's no, I guess, way to like overpitch the felling without revealing that we don't have pummel, but obviously we don't have pummel here. All right, and I think we're almost immediately losing here. Yeah, winning the trounce plus the test there, pretty good. All right. Well, fortunately, we can cover most of this. They have a Remembrance in the deck, also really bad for us. We can not decompose yet. We can like do a baby plow if we want to. Oh yeah, this matchup is so bad. I think this is like a matchup where you probably just want to leave if you have the option to play on Telshire. Like I don't even know this matchup is necessarily worth practicing. But we'll play it out here. I'll do it for the fans. Yeah, Rampart Victor. I mean, interesting. I don't know what Rampart's for. It's for gravy. Maybe that's what it's for. But like, the other shield is just so much better. Go ahead and decompose. Get rid of Terror. Yeah, I don't particularly know how we plan on beating Remembrance. Like, if they just Remembrance back 3, visit the Goldmane Estates, I think we just lose, right? We basically need them to, like, whiff on probably, like 2 clashes or something, and then, like, eventually kill them from there. Alright, disable, we have Tunic at the ready as well. So, obviously, they're representing Pummel here. Oasis, notably not super helpful at the current moment. I think we're just supposed to block 6 on this, and then if they go for the pummel, that's fine. We just Oasis it. Because ideally I'd want to like Winter's Bite, discard Fruits next turn or something. Right, so they're gonna go for the pummel. Reasonable. Sure. Go ahead and just Oasis it. You notably also don't get to bottom my arsenal, which is nice. I don't even know if we're playing out this Winter's Bite. I'd almost rather just keep it in as like Seeds of Tomorrow fodder. I don't think there's a real reason to play it here. Our Remembrance is a little early here for us, but to be fair, their Remembrance is also a bit early. Alright, overpitching a Trounce maybe for second cycle. Interesting. We can dominate a Mangle at them. Not super exciting. Wait, why didn't they just play... Okay, so they're pitching a Trounce. What this pitch stack means something. So it means that this card is a red. Because if it was a blue, they would have just sent Disable. And then just like IP'd with Trounce? What does this mean? Alright, I'm not going to reflect too long on that, but I think that does mean something. Yeah, I think... Actually, maybe you should have blocked that. Because, like, sending 8 for... I mean, it's, like, similar value. I don't know. It's fine. I don't even know if I'm going to put... Should I even put a counter on this? Like, if I end up getting a crumble? Sorry, this game is, like, throwing me off. Let's go ahead and just gauntlets here, then. Could theoretically strip out a card with the Winter's Bite. Because we're arsenaling the Sigil of Solace anyways, or we could also arsenal Sigil. Maybe we're actually supposed to do this now while their tunic's not up. It's pretty low value, but it's probably okay. Seems like they want to pitch instead, which makes sense. And we'll pull Tunic and send the Mangle in here. And then we'll arsenal Sigil. It's basically just 8 dominate, but we are stripping a card out of hand. Which I guess is not even relevant because they have the Rampart, right? Yeah, so they basically just get like an extra point of value here. I guess that's fine, like versus Armages. I'd much rather see Rampart into me, I feel like. Also running Fate, quite bad. Which means we're probably also running Sinks. If we can get them to whip on React on some of their flashes, that's maybe how we get back in this game. Or that's maybe how we can, like, be in this game, rather. I don't think we're, like, fully out of this game yet, but the 3 gold start is quite rough. So I think we're here just wanting to... So there's 2 options here. We can either sledge and then pitch the Oaken for later, or we can try to like double pitch to sledge and then our play Sigil, keep the first Oaken. How many CNCs have we seen yet? We've seen no CNCs. I feel like we're just supposed to like overpitch to send sledge here. Probably. Yeah, so let's just go for the sledge. We'll save Oaken for second cycle, ideally. It's a little bit awkward because we're like putting the Oaken below our Remembrance also. I don't know if the reacts are actually a good thing for me. Okay, interesting. What is their arsenal right now? Part of me just wants to like block Mangle, set up the first crumble on something, and then just or like play Sigil Arsenal Rootbound. I think we'll keep. I guess we'll like IP with the Mangle. Are we okay with that? I don't want to just like lose all the cards in my deck too fast. I think taking the 1 here is maybe reasonable. Could also just send Mangle for 8. Or actually, better play might just be the Sledge, Sigil, Arsenal Rootbound. So they've pitched 2 Trounces for second cycle, which is actually maybe good for us. And then we get to play Sigil out here, Arsenal Rootbound. I don't think this is all that bad. Alright, so they win another clash. Seems pretty good. Alright, Arsenal rebound. A choke slam here. They are theoretically representing another pummel, but we also kind of just don't care about second pummel. We could get some more decompose of the root bound if we want to as well. So I think this is fine. Go ahead and just root bound this. Actually, I think I probably don't want to decompose, right? I think I just root bound and sink cover, and then just arsenal the other sink. Feels weird. I think this is probably correct though. Because now we're threatening pummel theoretically. I was almost debating just sending Sledge here, because it's like functionally the same, right? But this technically might make them scared of the pummel, so maybe I'm supposed to do it anyways. It does feel like pretty low return rate. Prime to fight too. Are Victors playing this now? It's pretty bad for us if they are playing this, but not much you can do. I think it's one matchup where I definitely would maybe want Crown of Providence. Alright, they are pitching a sink below. So maybe we're not out of this game just yet. Okay. So this is also another problem with Plume, is that we do not have a felling, so we cannot Plume yet. Are we just Terra Sundering them here? Yeah, it definitely seems like a kind of out there victor list. I feel like I'm probably supposed to just sink and then ship the seeds to the bottom and try to find something a little bit more impactful. Felling is definitely good, and it does also make our Plume better. I almost feel like we'd rather Terra Sunder and then save the Felling for next turn, though. We haven't seen any CNCs, though, which is concerning. Especially with that many Might tokens. Yeah. So what happens if I do go for Sledge? They can block 3 on board with that and that. Or I guess they can like maybe block 4 here, give me a card, and then they keep us 4 card hand. Maybe we just have to force that action though. Because if we're just felling and then we're like bottoming, like it's not super efficient to felling here, right? Yeah, it's kind of sad, but I think we're probably supposed to do this. It's pretty high deck value, it feels like. We get some armor out of them, presumably, and then we also... They might also just have React here. If they have React here, that's rough. Pretty good. Yeah, the Fates are also kind of interesting in this deck. I don't think I've seen a Victor list that's also on Sync Fate, Prime to Fight, and also... They've had some like weird cards in this deck. Anyways. We still have to worry about the Remembrance for second cycle, which is also brutal. Alright, so we're not threatening... Oh, no, we are threatening pummel now because of riches. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's obviously terrible. So if they have pummel, I think we just, like, actually lose, right? I don't even think there's, like, a way to come back from that necessarily. So I think we probably just have to block like this plus gauntlets and just hope they don't have it. I think that's pretty much our only out. Okay, they don't have it. That's good. We do have enough decomposed fodder for felling, which is also quite nice. So their tweak to the deck is interesting, right? Because they're bringing in a bunch of D-Reacts, which lowers the consistency of their clash. Like, I think the Jarl lists that I consistently lose to are running okay, so I think this matchup is like favorite for Victor no matter what they do. But like the way they're doing it, they get D-Reacts, which is obviously a plus, but they also get the brick percentage. They haven't bricked once though, like for what it's worth. So like, I don't know. Is brick percentage like a real thing in your in Victor? Maybe. Who knows? But like, I don't know. It feels like it's pretty overwhelmingly bad, even if they are running like a kind of like out there like or like they're running like more cards that like reduce their consistency, right? So we can actually E-strike into plow here, which is nice. We could also just E-strike into sledge, which is similar. Yeah, we just like cannot even break through their defenses here necessarily. I guess yeah, I guess we will go for plow. Yeah, like the introduction of riches also like really made this matchup terrible because like we both want this matchup to go to a long game or like we don't really have a choice in the matter, right? Like we don't have a way to like out aggro them necessarily. Okay, the remembrance came back around. That's interesting. How do they shuffle? Did they shuffle? Wait, are they running multiple remembrances? Wait, there's no way they've hit stack, right? We saw a remembrance like turn 2 or turn 3. Uh, yeah. The Yeah, if you can try to limit their clashes in the early game, it's good, but like even if you're doing that, it doesn't feel very good for us either. I think we were playing against double Remembrance Victor, which we might not actually have a chance of beating. Because like they still have 5 additional cards. I don't think he's at stack though. Maybe. We'll keep an eye on it, but they haven't had a way to shuffle. I don't think they're at stack. Maybe actually it's turn 12. Maybe they are at stack. All right, we'll be cognizant of that at least. What are we doing here? Probably Everbloom Life. We can actually go ahead and could get back our felling here if we want to just push damage. Is that bad? Yes, we'll put knee strike back on the bottom. Could also sledge. Yeah, it's very possible they are at stack, but it feels a little early. I guess it's more likely than not, though. Like, it's more likely that they're at stack than they're running 2 remembrances. For some reason, I thought I'd be able to keep an additional card here. Is this worth it? Maybe I wasn't supposed to Everbloom this turn. This might have been a punt. Sorry, I've been like thinking about their stack more than I've been thinking about like the actual turn. This is still okay-ish, I think. Yeah, I could definitely be at stack. I think there's definitely maybe merit there to just not ever blooming, so we keep an initial D-React in Arsenal, but it looks like they're just going to give up tempo here, which is what you can kind of do in this matchup a lot of the time. Yeah, I think that's kind of reasonable. So we haven't seen any of the Visit the Golden Main Estates either. I mean, I guess we've seen the one, right? But we haven't seen the other 2, which makes me think he's not at stack. Am I pummeling a sledge here? Probably. Honestly, I probably just need to get the value where I can take it. Well, Arsenal the other pummel, they're probably not going to be able to disrupt us next turn. They could have seen. Oh, we've actually seen 2 pummels out of the way. I think they pitched one too, right? Oh, he might have pitched one. I might not have been paying attention. I could have sworn that I haven't seen any of the other Goldman estates, but it's very possible. All right, so there's one. That was played out of Arsenal, or was that played out of hand? Interesting. And they have a second one that they drew. So I think this is their stack, right? I think they have 2 remembrances. But regardless, like I don't think we're winning this game by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So I think we're okay. So I think this is double remembrance. Like it has to be, right? which means I don't think there's any real world where we can win. I kind of wish, like, from like a game design perspective, what I kind of wish that this deck had was a way. Also lol at 19. What I wish that this deck had in order to like interact with a lot of decks that Jarl struggles with is just a way to interact with items in like an interesting way. It doesn't have to be like on hit disruption or anything like. It doesn't have to be like that necessarily. Um, yeah, Remembrance Goes to Banish when played, but they pitched one early, and then we also saw a second one before their stack. So I think they have a second one almost assuredly. We at least get to a CNC pummel next turn, so we're not like completely out of this. But like, if they are able to resolve the Remembrance, then that's really bad. Go for the pummel though. I feel like this is a pretty face-up pummel. I don't know. Feels pretty face-up. So yeah, the Remembrance goes to banish when played, but they still get to keep like the 3 visit the Gold Main Estates in the deck. Like those don't go to banish, so they can theoretically do triple visit the Gold Main Estate. Then they can do like Remembrance again afterwards, which means like I don't think there's a real way we can like win from that position. All right, so they are gonna basically overcommit to this so we can hold on to the pummel, which maybe we can use on Oakenold here. I think that's probably going to be the play. Nobly with Gauntlets, that will reduce it by 1 as well, so they're blocking the full 9 on this, which I think is smart of them because it feels like it's a pretty face-up pummel. Alright, they're pitching a Sink, which is at least nice for us. But yep, we'll just hold on to the pummel then. This is actually not going... I mean, we're starting at 8 gold, so that's what's going poorly for us. But, like, other than that, like, it's not actually that bad if you, like, ignore this pile of gold. Because we get an Oakenold here, our Remembrance is coming back around, so maybe we can, like, shuffle back some Oakenolds back in the deck. Maybe that gets a little bit more interesting, but... do get a pummel Oakenold, which I'm not going to complain about. This is a big chunk of damage. Oh, I don't think there was actually any way we could beat this deck if they're running Staunch. This deck is prepared for the Guardian Mirror. I guess it doesn't matter on the triggers. So we saw the pummel and pitch at least. That's good. But I think I'm under the assumption that there's probably no way we can win this. I guess I'll wait to see how many Remembrances they have. But this matchup, especially this configuration of the deck, seems actually unwinnable. I guess we can Fruits. That'll give us enough Decompose, right? We have plenty. Well, we don't have plenty, but we do have enough. Let's go ahead and Felling Arsenal the Oasis, I guess. Decompose, Fruits, Everbloom, and then we'll get CLF. Bottom the Visage. Arsenal the Oasis. We've just like not dealt any damage to them. And then they're just gonna deck us. Or they don't even need to deck us. They can just probably just like visit the Gold Main Estate and block everything we do. I found our Remembrance. So how do we win this game? Is there a way to win this game? The answer might be no. Can Remembrance back 2 Fellings and an Oakenold. Is that good enough? Or do we need all 3 Okens? We probably just have to do that, though. So now we're at stack. We'll get Felling. No, they can absolutely deck us if we cycle Everbloom. Like, there's a finite amount of Everbloom that you can actually cycle. We do have how many Everblooms? We have 2 in the deck, so like theoretically you could do that, but like we're not going to outvalue Visit the Gold Main Estate on Remembrance. Like there's just no way that Everbloom gives us that much value. We can get the Oakenold though. Roots. And we're just going to keep sending Fellings. Like we could be hammering more, but like does like hammering win us the game? I don't know if it does. Because they're just going to have time to then set up the visits. Wait, do we not have... Oh shit, we didn't hold on. Sorry. Whoops. I think we didn't have decompose there. I bottomed a felling, right? Yeah, I bottomed felling. So now we have to sludge. But that's fine. I guess it's like similar value. We save the felling for later. But yeah. I don't think like sludging is necessarily what wins us this game if we're staring down like two remembrances. The rampart block is weird. Maybe you just want to get staunch out of hand, I guess makes sense. Alright, so there's their first remembrance. So what are they getting back? They're getting all three gold main estates back. Sounds good. So we should be expecting a second remembrance somewhere after this one. Alright, that is an Oakenold. Won't complain about that. Might as well go for it. But yeah, I think like the problem with like hammering them every turn is that they have the gold main estate and we don't. And visit the gold main estate is functionally coming in for 9 damage every turn. Or 9 damage, or 9, 10, 11. So I don't know if that's like a viable path forward. They can also quick dodge here if they want to keep the last two cards in hand. They might not even care about the other two cards. Pretty good. Maybe reds. Pretty decent chunk of reds. Seen two Golden Suns. Oh, we get another Oaken, which we cannot complain about as well. Yeah, a decent amount of reds. I think we still have some trounces that we're waiting on that are pretty much all but guaranteed to hit because they blind them up. All right, test first. Let's see what it is. So they win that one. Yep, sounds good. So I think we're expecting another trounce pretty soon here, and then we're expecting a remembrance somewhere like a turn or two after that. All right, so Oak unfortunately does hit, which is nice. Oh, sorry, they did shuffle. They shuffled with remembrance, right? So we don't actually know their stack anymore, or they're like their clash cards are not lined up anymore. So this was the shuffle effect. So here, what do we want to do with this? How many CNCs have we seen? Seen two CNCs, so we're expecting one more. How many of Seeds of Tomorrow have we used? Have we seen no seeds? I'm not seeing Seeds Tomorrow. Yeah, like Sludge is definitely good, but like the Sludge doesn't really solve the second remembrance is the issue. I guess we'll go ahead and just block with the Autumn's Touch for Decompose Fodder. I think this is fine. And we're gonna be sludging next turn anyways because we don't really have much better to do. Do we want to play out CLF? Not particularly. I almost just want to like overpitch here into like gauntlets and then just like IP with a crumble. I think we're trying to maybe just preserve cards in deck at this point because like they can just pitch as much as they want. They have Tunic up. It doesn't really matter like the CLF discount as well. How many gear reacts do we still have? That's a good question. Yeah, we still have at least maybe like 2 more sinks and maybe another fate. So Trounce does have a chance of whipping here. Looks like they've whipped on another Trounce, which is good. So they're not going gold positive here at least. This might be more winnable than it looks like, honestly. Oh yeah, he pitched a Staunch as well. Was that on the last turn? Yeah, Staunch is gonna be bad. Yeah, it's not looking great. Okay. I think we're gonna still go for the Oaken. We just need to play our Okens right. Like the Okens are getting better, right? We use both of our pummels. So I think like how do we win this game? We probably just like have to like Oaken hit to visit the Goldmane Estates, and then they can't remembrance them back or something. Maybe that's our path to victory here. Could be the case. All right, we have gauntlets and rampart. I don't think they're actually generating a ton of real value off this rampart. I guess they get to like pitch the trounce for second cycle. Oh, is this fatigue bread? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would definitely be in line with kind of their playstyle, like very, very fatigue oriented. I kind of feel like you don't even need to do this though in Victor. Like you can kind of just win without the strategy, I feel like. Alright, so they get an extra Titan's Fist swing in. Pretty decent. Go ahead and block, or we actually want to keep, or no, the Prism doesn't matter, right? Because we're not on Titan's Fist ourselves. But yeah, I think we're almost at the second remembrance, or maybe this card in Arsenal might be second remembrance. So I guess we can try to go for the Everbloom Life thing. Or do we even have another one? So we have one. So I guess this is the first Everbloom Life, right? So we can bottom with this. We can put an E-Strike back, and that's pretty alright. And then swing like this. We have a Spinal here. They are going to be swinging it for a lot next turn. Do have Felling, though. Well, that is a good target for Oasis. And that was the last CNC too. So we do have that going for us. I guess the question here is like, are we supposed to be felling, or are we supposed to just like take the damage? How many pummels have we seen? I think we've seen 2 pummels, so we could have a third one, although it's unlikely given that they're on like more of a fatigue oriented plan. So let's go ahead and or I guess we should probably just block with a little bit of decomposed fodder. Does that make sense? We could also just block 6 here and then pitch the Winter's Bite to do this. I think maybe that's the play. They do have the third pummel. That's bizarre, but third pummel in a fatigue deck is interesting. But I was thinking not to keep Tear, just because like we need to, like they're going to be killing us sooner rather than later. We discard the Winter's Bite, which is fine. We get to Arsenal of Felling. I think this is okay. Last CNC, last pummel, but we still have 2 more visit the Goldmane Estates, or how many more visits? They definitely played 1. Yeah, we have 2 more visits. And then we'll block with the Felling. Alright, so there's another visit with the Riches. Like, there's no, I don't think there's actually a way you can out hammer this, right? Like, it's 25 might tokens. I just like don't think that's necessarily like they're doing like 30 damage to us on our next turn. We can Eisen at least to maybe the Frostbite messes them up a little bit, but beyond that, I kind of doubt it. And then I guess we can just pitch Seeds here. Decomp, maybe take a couple cards out of hand. Tear, bottom, I guess. Still have 1 more Seeds left, so we should Arsenal this, I think. It's a pretty interesting deck, though. Like, it makes sense. So pay the extra for the Frostbite. That also makes sense. So I'm assuming they're keeping just a blue here. And then we do keep this in Arsenal because we do have a Seeds coming up, I think. Okay, so this is big boy. Coming in for 35. How much of this can we reasonably block? So the pulse. We can block how much of this? Like gauntlets, felling, E-strike, and then I guess we just pitch the Everbloom to maybe have an out towards like cycling Everbloom life. I still think they have one more remembrance though. So yeah, I think we're gonna do this. And then this will at least buff our felling, which is nice. And we're still taking 20 something, going down to 2. Alright, go ahead and pass back. There's the second remembrance, which I did mention was coming. Like I don't think they had stacked there, was how I could tell. So now we have the second remembrance to worry about. And like there's no way that we can like sludge our way out of this, I think. So I think we're probably just gonna give them the game here. I mean, I guess we can like felling, but even that's not really doing a ton. I think this is just a deck that will beat Jarl, and there's not much we can say about it. Like, does this deck actually beat other decks? I guess is the real question. It probably does beat like Syndra pretty well, but like maybe struggles in like Gravy Verdance. Maybe there's like a pretty decent like Gravy Verdance plan, but who knows? Like I think this is more so kind of just a deck that will absolutely crush your like you can totally build a deck that like just crushes Jarl, and I think this is probably about as close as you get to it. You at least have felling, but I don't think the felling is keeping us anywhere in this game. There's fate, yeah. Yeah, so against like a normal victor list, I think that matchup's unfavored. This matchup I think is unwinnable against like this specific list. Right, so there's the 7th gold main estate. Pretty solid. And I think we're officially out of threats. But I do want to see how many might tokens they can make. It might just be digging towards their other gold main estate, which is also pretty reasonable. I mean, they basically get to like draw their entire deck at this point. I think their deck is like almost entirely blues. There's the riches again. Yep, pretty good. So riches basically can also just like replace itself, which is pretty cool. There's the second gold main. Yep. Fortunately, the second gold main was kind of buried deeper down there, but I guess they can even go for the third one if they really want to. I'd appreciate it for this stream content if they went for the third one. Nice. Absolutely. Absolute value. Yeah, so I think this was like the end game that we basically like could not beat. Like even if we like sledge more, like we have enough deck. Like the deck is not the problem. The deck is like the problem is rather that they have 31 might tokens. We'll play it out here for the sake of playing it out, but I imagine we're going to be taking lethal next turn. I guess we'll sludge. I don't think it really matters. Probably shouldn't have pitched seeds, but we're kind of past the point of being alive, I think. Alright, let's see what they kill us with. They do also have a quicken token, which is pretty solid as well. But yeah, good game from our opponent. Like, this is like actually like a pretty decent strategy, especially if the meta gets a bit slower and you can like kind of just like prey upon decks like Jarl and stuff like that. But we'll give it a full block and give it a good game here. But yeah, like I think that I don't know, it's like a real deck because I feel like what this deck would struggle into, at least conceptually, is like Gravy and potentially even Syndra. Although like Syndra, like as a normal Jarl, is like actually pretty fine. But like if you're a lot more offensive or like you're a lot more defensive, I feel like that's not necessarily playing to Jarl's strength. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like they do have like the red disables, the red crush the weaks. Like those cards are very very good into Syndra, right? So I guess like the only deck that this might not do well against is like Gravy. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's like a pretty reasonable build. All right, we're at 2 hours. I'll do like one more game. Let's see if we can find like a shorter game, hopefully. Although I am playing Jarl, so maybe that's not super realistic. We can play KO. We did just play Reiner, so it's a pretty similar matchup. I feel like Reiner is actually scarier than KO. Harsh Tiger. Hello. This guy says hello to chat. Oh, nice. Well, thank you for joining the stream. Uh, well, chat says hello too. All right, let's go ahead and run it. I think we just don't run Remembrance into KO, and then the rest I think is reasonable. Yeah, seems fine. I could also cut a pummel, but might as well leave it in. Do us proud. You got the whole world watching you, KO. You also have the opportunity to stream snipe me if you want to. I will not do anything. Give them a good luck, have fun. Where's that? There we go. All right, now we're gonna start this one off. We can honestly just like Everbloom Life just to put it in the yard and Arsenal Pulse if we want to. It's not super exciting. I feel like the play is actually maybe to pitch Pulse and then just like Terra Center Hammer Arsenal the Everbloom. I feel like that might be better. But let's go ahead and get it on the scabs early. And I guess we'll just N4. Like there's not really a reason to like hold back against KO necessarily. Oh, I need to add a misplay to the misplay jar. Hold on. +1 against. Let's do like that. I can shrink that a little bit more. Yep, you can't really see that, but additional misplay for playing against Victor. That's actually terrible. I'm not leaving that on screen. All right, might wind up pretty good start. Yes, this is a measuring cup I'm drinking from because it's the biggest cup we have in the house, and also it's funny. I thought it would antagonize someone in chat, so that's why I brought it to the stream. All right, go ahead and Arsenal the Everbloom Life, and I will refix the jar because that did not show up on the screen the way I wanted it to. That's better. Let's spin that. All right, rolling scabs. Oh no, not like this. Streamer luck. Paid actors. You know how it is. Okay. Let's. Now I just feel bad. Can't just roll a 1 on the opening turn of the game. I guess for Everbloom Lifing. I guess we could have for its first, but we're probably just putting back the crumble anyways. And then Roots gain life. We'll do it in the opposite order, also as a fear tactic. And come up with 3. It's that Jarl. There we go. Perfectly aligned, right in the center. Yeah, I like to have an antagonistic relationship with our viewers. I think it's funny. I think too many viewers have it too good. All right, Arsenal, let's sync. All right, please, not a 1. You're on stream. You can't just roll 2. You can't roll 2 1s on stream, dude. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. At this point, I almost want you to just like undo and not roll scabs. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, scabs is cruel. Yeah. Okay, sorry. That like fucking got to me. Okay. Let's, I guess, blow up the scabs so that they can't roll them. I think that's the course of action here. And then we'll just pass. Oh yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Frozen Death the Scabs. Oh, I'm so sorry, friend. I I feel terrible now. Oh my god. That killed me. I'm glad we played another game. Alright, CNC is good. CNC is definitely good. Uh yeah, what are we doing on CNC? I guess we can like Oasis and then sit felling. We have fodder for felling if we want it. Uh yeah, I mean we're probably having the bottom. I guess we can just like give them a frostbite. Oh, excuse me. Uh can't cut out the burps on stream. Okay, so I think we're blocking two, giving them a frostbite with the eyes in, and then just oasising, and then just felling for four. I think that's like fine. This has been a very interesting stream game. But yeah, I feel so bad. The chances of rolling one twice in a row are quite poor. Um, so I don't even think that's necessarily your fault. Like I think base if you had like a hand that could do like CNC to something, I think it's probably right to roll scabs there. Scabs is just terrible. I think so actually in the League that means nothing game, I think I rolled scabs for one twice in a row as Reinar. But the only thing that made that play like okay was that I like played out either a Smashback Elhorn or a Sigil Cycles first, and then I like rolled scabs to see if I can get an extra action. But yeah, I feel your pain. I empathize. And we'll just give them the frostbite here. They won't have to. Oh, we got a card out of hand. I think that's fine. Oh, you hit on agility. Okay, so the luck has changed a little bit. You got 6 might tokens. Definitely not bad. So I hope the rest of the game goes a little bit better. Let's. So if we actually CLF into plow, CLF into plow good. We have to plow our own arsenal, which is a sink below. We also can't decompose notably, so the plow is especially not good. I guess we can just like CLF into Titan's Fist Swing, and that comes in for 4. We can sigil afterwards. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, I apologize for having the reaction that I did, but also that was the funniest thing that's happened all stream, so I feel a little bit bad. All right, go ahead and bottom the frozen in the plow. All right, what's our decompose looking like in root bound? Oh, sim packing would be pretty good there. Yikes! Oh god, this is rough. Yeah, sim packing for 12. If you had to look at blue, I think that's just an unfortunate hand, right? Like if you don't have the blue to cast it there. Oh, you had a wild ride too. Okay, interesting. So swing big, coming in for 6 go again, or sorry, 12 go again. I mean, we can block out basically most of this, right? Which you probably should just do. Yeah, the send backing, if you could had the mana, would have actually been real nice. Mana, resources, whatever. My ex Magic the Gathering player is showing again. Alright, I think we're just letting the CLF die and then arsenaling Rootbound. We already have enough Decompose, or we might actually be playing this Rootbound. Alright, Blood Rush Bellows here. 5-card Blood Rush. This is definitely what you need to like get back in the game though. Like rolling 2 1s is generally pretty game losing. Alright, Wild Ride. So we can maybe just cash in our Unforgetting Unforgiving here. I generally do like using Stalagmite on Blood Rush if I can. I just don't like need to though. Let's go ahead and give the Stalagmite here. I generally like to save it for the Blood Rush turn anyways. And this is a 5-card Blood Rush, so it's a little bit better than like the average Blood Rush. So maybe this Frostbite does represent some intangible value. Alright. Wild Ride discarding a CNC. Pretty good. So we can actually discard fruits here if we wanted to just like get the full decompose value. We're not blocking with Civics here because there's very likely chance that this is like the end of the turn here. Let's go ahead and Root Bound. Do we want to Root Bound? I feel like I actually just want to like save Root Bound for... I want to save Root Bound for pulping, I think. I think I'm just going to preserve life a little bit here. Because the longer the game goes on, the more it generally favors me. So they're just going to pitch to Claw, which makes sense. I think there was like a real likelihood that they just like pass there. Yeah, I think this is fine. So the question is like, do we want to hold on to the Root Bound for pulping? We have seen 2 CNCs, so it's pretty safe to keep an arsenal here. I think I'm just going to take this then. Could also opt... So there's an interesting like debate about whether or not you're supposed to like swing Titan's Fist here versus like just discard the fruits. I think it's better to discard the fruits because you're like theoretically on paper, right? It's like 4 value versus 2 value, but you're getting the actual like the decompose fodder, which is worth like maybe a couple value at least. So I think in general it's right to discard the fruits, and also again, the longer the game goes on, it generally favors us. So I think that if we're preserving our life total to get to a longer point in the game, then that's also like some value that you're getting, right? Ooh, Rally the Coast Guard is an interesting one. Discard +3. Activate this only while this card is defending. Ooh, Blood Rush number 2 as well. Alright, so this is going to be the opportunity to use Stalagmite here. Double Blood Rush turn, pretty good if you have the means to like capitalize on it. I think Double Blood Rush tends to be a bit better in like Rhinar, for instance, because you have like Double Claw, and then you can go like pretty wide that way. I think I kind of just want to maybe use the seeds here. So this is, I guess, the one downside of not using a Root Bound that one turn. I guess like we still get to like get the value out of it anyways. But we're definitely giving Stalagmite here. Probably also giving Civic Steps. Is Civic Steps a risk? Maybe Civic Steps is actually wrong. Because like, what if they do like Savage Feast into like Savage Step? Like, there's a couple ways I feel like that could actually go wrong. So I think we're just going to do something like this, and then maybe just get the prevention here. I think in general, depending on like what resources and cards they're representing, it could be correct to give Civic Steps on the Blood Rush turn. But I don't want to make a double Blood Rush turn like any worse for myself than it already might be. Ooh, Race Face not bad either. So I think here we're just going to cash in on the value here. So the also bad thing about a Race Face in particular is that it's not a brute card, obviously, so you're not getting the Blood Rush value. But it does also turn off our Frostbite, so maybe we're just supposed to block with the Winter's Bite as well. I think that's reasonable. Let's just like turtle up here. We've seen like a lot of the good threats. The Cast Bones is yeah, we saved 7 by not using Civics. I think that was correct. Sorry, where does this 7 come from? Maybe I missed it in pitch. Yeah, I still think it's correct to not use Civics there for sure, just because like I think there's a lot of risk to doing that. So swing big, we block Crumble, Mangle, we can like Winter's Bite, Arsenal the Blizzard is one option. Oh, 2 for Claw, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so we did actually save I think a middle life there. So we have swing big. How many agile windups have we seen? Seen 1, I think. Or no, that was the Reiner game. Sorry, those are bleeding together for me. I think we're just supposed to block a bit here. Could theoretically play on our Crumble, but I think the Winter's Bite is already fine enough as is, and then we can just Arsenal Blizzard and just try to get towards our end game. I think this is fine. Yep, so go ahead and hit him with the Winter's Bite. Oh, Beast Within is a nice punish there. Oh, let's not skip our arsenal. This hand's pretty good. Only problem is they're like having to bottom a felling. I don't know if this hand's good. This hand's okay. It's fine. We'll take a little bit of damage here. But we've seen a lot of the better threats in the deck. I think the two main cards we're worried about now at this point are two Cast Bones. And I guess like one CNC still left. Oh, we did also see that Savage beatdown. So there's definitely some gas left in the tank for them. Although a lot of the more, I guess, like premium threats are kind of out of the way. Alright, finishing on the run. So we could have had the opportunity to block like a point extra if we used this felling earlier. How much fodder do we have? So we can either get 2 value or we can put a felling back in the deck. I think given that we're running Remembrance, which we probably shouldn't be running into KO. Did we actually put Remembrance in the deck? I don't think we did, right? So I think we were actually maybe supposed to just block with this felling. Just get our point or 2 points of value as opposed to just like getting non-tangible value by putting it back in the deck. It's like a little bit weak, but I think that's fine-ish. There's also, I think, a world where we like IP with. We maybe even should have used Blizzard that turn. I think there are a couple options we could have done that turn. This is still kind of okay though. I was mostly just worried about like CNC as like their last play. But I guess if we use the Blizzard that turn, we don't have to worry about CNC. Yeah, that might have been better. Alright, last CNC out of the way. Pretty solid. I think I was trying to save it for like a wild ride or something. But I probably should have just used it that last turn because I think they went wide on a wild ride anyways. Okay, Cast Bones here, pretty solid. So get up to 6 on there. It still kind of works out though. Like we get to at least send potentially 8. This actually plays around Fleshbag as well. So let's do go again, and then we have a 50-50 on whether or not the Fruits gets hit, assuming they do go for Fleshbag. If they're not going to go for Fleshbag, it might actually be correct to felling here. Felling, is felling correct? I think felling might actually be correct. Probably better than swinging hammer for 3, right? Yeah, I think it's probably the play. So yeah, I think we're going to try to save this Blizzard for this next turn. But we are stripping a card out of hand, which is nice. Do you have one more Cast Bones we have to worry about? But other than that, I think we're in a pretty decent spot. Opponent's doing very well for rolling 2 1s like the first 2 turns of the game. Yeah, 8 is definitely better than 3. Let's grab Frozen. Yeah, that was a pretty good Plume. I mean, the Plume has been doing work today. So I don't think it's actually that bad. Huh. I'll have to like play more with Plume. It's definitely like a good way to just keep tempo on a hand that has like a bunch of crap in your hand, basically. Like it basically saved us from sending Titan Sister. Like we basically got 8 value there, right? Kind of ish. Or like we paid a card to get like plus 8 value. Yeah, I mean it's functionally kind of like 8 value. Alright, Salt and Battery. Probably just setting up for next turn. So unfortunately the Blizzard is also not super helpful here. How many Okins do we have left in the deck? We have 2 Okins, so we could probably safely block with this one. Yeah, I feel like we can pretty safely just like block out here, and then maybe just like Oasis on the back end. Worst case scenario here, I think Plume is good. I think it's just, I don't know. There's some matchups I feel like I'd rather run Crown. Let's go ahead and Oasis Assault. But yeah, the Plume has been doing quite a bit of work. I think it's maybe worth considering a bit more. I feel like it's just sometimes awkward. Like, you don't always get the chance to use Plume, and if your Arsenal, like, if you're getting threatened by, like, a CNC Pummel or something like a Conqueror with High Seas or something, then I think it gets a bit worse. Okay, lots of reds in the hand, unfortunately. So this is probably about as good a time as any to Blizzard, right? Yeah, might as well go for it. We also have a lot of reds in hand for what it's worth, but we can maybe try to sink one away, and then we can maybe hold on to the root pound. Agile windup. So I think I'm going to go for the Blizzard here. I wonder if they're just trying to set up the Agile windup for next turn. So the claw is blocked. We'll let the windup resolve. And then we'll sink one of our root bounds. I draw another red, that's fine. Now we can still just send CNC. We do have a lot of armor. It's still probably fine. I think it's pretty likely we hit a blue there. So maybe a little unfortunate that we don't get to keep the root bound, but I think it's still pretty reasonable. Oh, hitting another Beast Within. These Beast Withins have actually been kind of insane this game. That's the last one, fortunately. But yeah. The KO game was definitely rough in the beginning for them. I'm still trying to find an excuse to use Civic Steps at some point. I feel like we've not really had a lot of good opportunities to use the Civics this matchup. All good. Alright, starting off on the Feast. So discard the Wild Ride we just played. I think we're just planning on blocking out this turn. There's not any disruption that they can have that we really care about. I think our goal here is just preserve as much life total as we can and then Arsenal to sink below. So is this the opportunity for the first Civic Steps usage, or should we be a little bit safer? I think that there's some risk that the Civic Steps backfires on us, so I'm not going to do it. Do you have the Smashing Sinks to worry about in the late game? Yeah, but opponent's doing very, very well for the start that they had. I think... So how many Send Packings have we also seen? We still have all three in the deck. So Sink Blow gets a lot worse. I don't know if we've seen any Pulpings. They might not be running them into us, or at least I've not noticed the Pulpings. They don't have Agility yet, so we shouldn't go Quicken. So I think we're just fine to get hit by the Erase. Take a little bit of damage here. And just keep kind of trying to play towards our late game. Double Oakenol draw is bad, but we do have the Sink Blow to hopefully help fix that a bit. So, these Civic Steps have kind of just been sitting here. I think this might actually be the opportunity to use Civic Steps because they have one card in hand. They have they have one card which presumably they're going to pitch to Claw. Crumble off the top would be sick. How many crumbles have we seen? Seen one. I think we bottomed one, right? So I think there's still one live in the deck somewhere. So, okay. I'm going to try the Civic Steps here. This could backfire, but I think this is actually probably the right spot for it. Because, like, they pitch a card here to Claw. They have 2 cards left over. I think the math works out. If they pop Sash when it's on 3, I think that's also fine for us. I think I needed to find an excuse to use the Quicken at some point this game. Let's bottom this Oakenolds. Alright, unfortunate that we didn't have the keys here, but that's fine. You need to be a little bit cognizant about fatigue, but we will probably win in the fatigue game. So that Savage beatdown too. Alright, so the quicken did not matter, fortunately. I think we're not supposed to block here. Yeah, I think we're not supposed to block. So we didn't get punished by the quicken, which is really nice. Alright, finishing on swing rate. So there was the Savage beatdown, so they're putting that in pitch again. Yeah, so close to fusing the Okinold, but I think... So we could block with the Autumn's Touch. How many Fellings? So we used all 3 Fellings. We have 1 Oaken left. We have 2 Plows. Anything with like threats we have left. Could see it being correct to block with this. I do want to Winter's Bite next turn, so we either blocking with the Autumn's Touch and sending, or we're sending Titan's Fist, I think is the question. So I think we're just taking the 8 here. I think we're just going to Winter's Bite, Sigil, pitch Autumn's Touch to Titan's Fist for value, because we have enough Decompose Power. I don't think we need to block now. And then I think we're going to Arsenal the Okinold to try to line it up with the Crumble and the Pulse that are still in it. We have 2 Crumbles and a Pulse still left. So I think this Winter Bite is worth it. Keep him off like a 4-card hand here, I think is reasonable. We still have 1 Cast Bones I think we have to worry about still. Discarding Sea Legs is a nice punish. Yeah, we'll come in with the Titan's Fist as well. I think if the 1s are not rolled that early in the game, they're winning this game, like 100%. Yeah, I think we're coming very close to the Crumble. I don't think we've shuffled since then. There's a Crumble. So this might have been the top of our, or like the bottom of our deck, and this might be the top of stack. I don't remember pitching the CNC though. Alright, coming in for 7, pretty solid. It still works out for us. I guess the only question I have is how many seeds do we have left in the deck? We have 1 seed, so we should probably Arsenal this this Crumble still. So we'll block with the Unforgetting, Unforgiving, and then we'll block with CNC, I think is the play. Don't want to give up boots. I guess there's no... sorry, the boots are on 1. My microphone is blocking that, so... Yeah, there's no real reason that we'd block with boots anyways. Yeah, this is fine. Pretty good for us, even. They do get the opportunity to block 6 with armor and then also give us a card from hand, which is maybe what they've been kind of like saving it for. It makes sense. We still do have that seeds floating around, so I still think it's correct to Arsenal this, just as fodder. But yeah, I'm expecting like the full fridge block plus a 3 block here, is my guess. Alright, makes sense. I think we still have another Savage beatdown to worry about, too. They do have to keep a lot of cards for Savage beatdown, though. Like, they can't just, like, play it. Alright, so I think that's... Yeah, I think that was our stack. Or maybe this is the Crumble that we put with Everbloom. I think we should still have that seed somewhere, unless I'm forgetting about it. Alright, we're using our Gold Kiss. Pretty good. Coming in with the Bear Fangs. Huh. Okay, so I'm trying to make sense of this. What I think this is that you played Bear Fangs, pitching the Wild Ride, and you had a Cast Bones in hand, and then I think you drew Wrecker up off the top. That's my guess for what happened. Based on the usage of the... Wait, the Gold Kiss from effects in action. So wait, wouldn't it be better... Hold on, if they had a 3rd Cast Bones, wouldn't they use that on the Gold Kiss Roam on the Cast Bones and then play this? The Spear Fangs is interesting to me. Or the Gold Fit, like, maybe there's something I'm not thinking about. But I feel like there's something here that I'm missing of, like, why the Gold Kiss Roam is getting played. Regardless, I think I'm just supposed to pulse this so they can't do anything on the back end? I'm confused though. This will tax the resources at least. Yeah, that was an interesting gold kiss. I'm trying. You'll have to like tell me in the chat why that was played, or like why I played on the Bear Fangs. I guess is my question. All right. Anyways, we're gonna come in with the Titan's Fist. Unfortunately, like we had the punish there, but I'm kind of curious like what this card in Arsenal was. I guess it's very interesting to me. All right, wind up. Good. All right, so I forget where exactly that Seeds is. Instinct, obviously, quite nice. So I think Civic Steps theoretically should not punish us here if we want to use it. We do have Send Packings we need to worry about. We still have 3 Send Packings in the deck, I think. So we need to save 6 block for that. The Cloud getting banished is... Can't tell if that's good or bad for me. It's like fine for me. I think I'm supposed to use Civic Steps here. Plus Imposing. And then... Maybe it's Civic Steps plus... So we have Tunic, so we can always like just swing Fist for 3 again if we just need to, if we need to like block more. I think we're supposed to like do something like this, is my guess. I guess we don't have to use the armor here, but I do want to use those Civic Steps before it gets awkward. So there's a Send Packing, which is fine. We have that for that, and then we can use the Crumble. So they actually put the Crumble in our hand, which is really nice. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So that's actually really good for us. I was thinking about Send Packing in terms of just like blocking it, obviously, but getting a blue from your arsenal back to hand is actually really sweet for us. Yeah, that was really interesting. So yeah, I have the option here to send 6 versus send 4, or for send 3. I think we're always just sending 6 here. Forces 2 cards out of hand, makes like cards like the Savage Beatdown a lot worse, because now they're kind of like just keeping 2 cards every turn, basically. Or I guess they can keep an additional card here with the Reckless Swing. Alright, I assume it's Reckless Swing. I guess they're still keeping 2 cards here. Yes, this is fine, I think. I think you... Interesting. Alright, Smash Instinct. Hitting the Root Bound's a little unfortunate. But not the end of the world. We can still just, like... We could also just take this. I think we saw another Reckless Swing, though, didn't we? Maybe I'm imagining that. I don't think we need the Everbloom Life to win this game, though. I think we can just, like, kill them with Plow. And then Arsenal Root Bound, then we're probably in an okay spot. I don't think there's any real reason to, like, dip too low here. But yeah, we'll just play another Plow. We are getting close to decking, which I'm concerned about. But we are basically going to be stripping cards every turn of the game. So maybe this is fine. I think we're basically out of threats, though. Like, what do we have left? We have a Mangle left. Mangle's good. Defensive, we have no Oasis left. Dropping to 1-2, which is really good for us. Fruits makes sense. Yeah, I think we've pretty much got this, barring some weird, unforeseen circumstance. But yeah, I feel like if you didn't roll 2 1s, like, you're actually winning this game, which is pretty crazy. I've seen the 7 Felling of the Crown Jarl build. I don't know if I'm playing the 7. What is the 7 Felling of the Crown Jarl build? Because, like, we are playing Remembrance plus Plume. So that might be that deck. Because theoretically we can play 7 Felling of the Crowns. But yeah, the Plume has felt pretty good. Yeah, basically. This is like my own version. I don't know if there's like a specific list that people are using, but this is kind of like my own take on it. I think it's been strong for sure. Like you also, I think there's a lot of benefits to Plume. Um, Maybe also some downsides, but I think that it might just be the better headpiece for Jarl. Like there's definitely a world where that's the case. Yeah, we're not running the remembrance into this particular into KO, but like we do have the option to get 7 fellings back in the sideboard. All right, we do have the oh sorry, we did have some threats left. We still have the Oakenold. That's really good for us. So now we just rebound. Yeah, I'll just rebound. No real need to overthink it here. Getting the autumns and fruits and Terra Center also, sure, why not? But yeah, the 7 fellings is like a very real strat. So question here. So we have 2 options, I guess. We can just send Autumn's Touch and then like overpitch a little bit. I think I'm doing this just to like so they don't like can't just reckless if they have another one. Like they need to give me something else. And I want to get as many cards in my hand for Oakenold as possible, I think. I don't even know if we need to resolve Oakenold to win this game necessarily, but it's probably correct still to do so. It might have actually been correct to rebound instead. Yeah, I think that Plume is very, very strong in what it does. I think I'm still just very used to the play patterns of Crown of Providence. This hand's really good, though. We'll block with a Crumble here. I don't know if it's like too good. Like it's definitely strong. And it fixes like some of your bad hands, which is like the benefit of it. It's funny we can put cast ones back in their deck. Probably just do the Everbloom chain. And just swing in with Oaken. Like Crown of Province, I feel like is maybe a comfort pick into certain heroes. Like I like Crown into Gravy, although I do think Plume is also pretty good into Gravy, just because you have the ability to like get back stuff. There are some like weird deck building problems with Plume. I think Plume. Oh, misplay Jarl counter on 5s that the amount of times you activate Plume. That's very funny. No, okay, that's hilarious. First of all, but yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm like talking to like 3 different people here at the same time, so I'm like overwhelmed. I don't think you really did anything wrong. So if you go back and watch the VOD, I don't think you really did anything wrong. What I will say is that don't roll 1s on scabs. That's probably your first problem. The second problem is that like I think okay, so like if you do not roll those 2 1s, I think you probably get very, very close to winning this game, or you win this game. Like I think that was just like unlucky. Oh, you're trying to go scabs into cast one first 2 turns. Like I think that's reasonable. Like I think that's a reasonable risk, right? Like sometimes you have to roll scabs to like maximize your value. Like I don't think you did anything wrong that game. Like if you don't roll 1s or you roll like a 2 that like those first 2 turns, like you're still in the game, like very, very much like you're doing a lot better, right? Like I think that the main issue was you just got unlucky in the early game, and then like that kind of just snowballed. Yeah, there was a weird rum turn that I saw, like where you activated rum and you didn't use the action point. I wonder like what that was. Yeah, but no, you played that very well. Like you got us to like sub, or you got me to like sub 10, which is where you want to what you want to be as KO. And then like if you let's take a look at like what you had. Like you have Smash Instinct left from your deck. You have like a ton of threats that you're able to eventually just like close out with like Intimidate. Yeah, like I think that there are like a bunch of things that just went poorly for you that game, and then sometimes that happens. But yeah, anyways, back to the comment about the misplay Jarl counter at 5 as the number of Plume activations. It's very, very funny because I think that the community is quite divided on Plume. I do think it opens up a lot of cool lines. It's a lot of fun, but I do think that Yeah, the Golgus Rump turn was definitely like pretty weird. But yeah, I think that like Plume is interesting. I still don't know if that's my preference personally, but it does open up a lot of cool lines and is a pretty threatening card, especially into like certain heroes. I'll have to experiment around with it a little bit more, but I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up for there today. So this is gonna be I guess like the deck list for today. I'll probably like just go ahead and post it. I think this is also like posted in the stream, but I'll like post it in the chat in case you all want it. But basically, this is kind of like my version of Plume with Plume that I'm running. I think that like in order to support Plume, you need to run a couple more blues than I'm kind of like used to running in Jarl. So I'm like running, I think like maybe an extra eyes in here or like an extra seeds as well, just to like boost the blue count so we're more able to activate Plume. And then I also think that uh, in general, I think that it's interesting because I don't think you can run both Crown of Providence and Plume in the same deck. I don't know if that's necessarily correct, but I can see one or the other being correct. Um, like the benefits of Plume, right, are that you get this you basically get to unbrick an all blue hand. It's a very powerful card. You get like a Felling or an Oaken, and then you just like get to like snowball tempo, which is really good. The downside is obviously being an O block, you get disrupted. Like Crown of Providence is obviously a very strong effect in being able to like bottom your arsenal and like get a random card. Um, I, I, I okay. So what I will say about Plume from at least these like couple games is that it impressed me more than I think it does on paper. That's what I'll say about this card. Like I think it's quite solid. I've also been liking the Civic Step lately for what it's worth. Yeah, as KO into Jarl, like I don't know, like your game plan as KO, I don't think should involve Theriax just because you're trying to be the aggressor. You're trying to basically get me down to the point where I have to like keep blocking and I can't like reestablish tempo or do anything else. I think the matchup has gotten a bit rougher for KO just because of like the introduction of Everbloom Life just being an additional Earth card, and then just like the Jarl Fridge, like uh, so Jarl's like surprisingly like does quite well into brutes for some reason. Like I don't fully understand why. Um, so yeah, let's actually take a look at Rotwood versus Titan's Fist. So let's look at our blues that we want to pitch. So we have three autumns. So I'm gonna do like the three cost count, right? So we have three autumns touch, plus another three frozen to death, plus another three fruits. So that's 9 total there. Then we get 12 here with the Imposing Visage, plus 15 here with the Terra Sunder. So that's 15 total cards that we pitched for Titan's Fist. Now, if we take a look at the Earth count, we have 3 here, plus 3 here, plus 3 here, plus 3 here, plus 4, plus 2 here. So I think that's 14 if I'm counting that correctly. So theoretically, mathematically, it's slightly better on Titan's Fist. Now, that does ignore the seeds in the board also. So maybe it's about even. I think if you're about even, like I don't know if I'm running this into every matchup though. Like I don't think you run double seeds in everything, so maybe I'm supposed to be leaning towards like the Titan's Fist. But so if you just look at the count, right, that's one way you can evaluate it. But I do think that there's maybe some merit to even if you're running less of the Earth cards than the Titan's Fist. What you want to be doing with Jarl, anyways, most of the time is like pitching your crumbles for late game or pitching your Repulsive Isolaf for late game, right? So there's maybe merit to actually running Rotwood, even if you're running more three costs than Earth cards, just because you want to be pitching these cards more than you want to be pitching like Imposing Visage and Terra Sunder and like Frozen to Death and like Autumn's Touch and like stuff like that. That's at least like an argument you can make. I think that you could go probably either way, at least with this list. Like you are running technically 15 Earth cards. And I guess that also like it does ignore cards like Plow Under, like which I do occasionally pitch as well. So like I think there are pros and cons, but you're also like occasionally pitching like Oakenold and Felling. So like I think it depends, but I think that maybe we should try the Rotwood as a card. I don't know. I think there's like pros and cons, but at least like on paper we're running more 3 costs than Earth cards, so maybe we're gonna stick with that for at least the time being, but maybe I'll try it later. Yeah, but I think that's probably gonna wrap it up for today. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to like close out the stream here. But yeah, if you want to see more streams in the future, let me know. And yeah, we're kind of basically for those of you who kind of like missed the start of the stream, we're basically kind of doing this as a way to cut down on like Tegan's editing work, which is also my editing work because we kind of like edit both together. So yeah, that's kind of like we're basically just doing that to kind of like make room for the Zen documentary, basically. Yeah, but thank you all for stopping by. I'll see you all around pretty soon. We might do a stream like later this week. And yeah, let me know if y'all enjoyed it. So yeah, for now, I'll see